Hello, all my dear friends. Once again, I welcome you back to my YouTube channel Modern English with Khandu Dayal. Friends, if you are new to this channel, please like, share, and subscribe my channel to get more videos. Dear friends, we had seen the first part of the thief story. If you have not seen the first part, please go and watch the first part because I have given the link in the description. So let us see the second part, what happens. We had already seen that the relationship between two people, that is Anil and Hari Singh, how does it develop. So all those things we have seen, wherein in the first part at the end the Hari Singh attempts to take the money and go out. Let us see. And if I don't take the money, he will only waste it on his friends. After all, he doesn't even pay me. And Hari Singh is having a kind of fear in his mind that if I did not take the money, then definitely he will waste on his friends. Anil was asleep. A beam of moonlight stepped over the balcony and fell on the bed. I sat up on the floor considering the situation. If I took the money, I could catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. Now, what does Hari Singh is thinking, that if I did not take money from him, definitely he will waste on his friends, right? And but if I could take the money, then I will be able to catch the train to Lucknow at 10:30. So he started thinking in this way and he becomes successful. Slipping out of the blanket, I crept up to the bed. Anil was sleeping peacefully. His face was clear and unlined. Even I had more marks on my face, though mine were mostly scars. And Hari Singh is just thinking about taking money out and stealing money, wherein the Anil was asleep and he just crept up to the bed, and Anil was sleeping without having any sort of fear on his face, and his face was unlined, wherein no scars were there, but Hari Singh was having a scars on his face. And he became successful. He crept up to the bed of Anil and he became successful to catch the money, to take the money. My hands slid under the mattress searching for the notes. When I found them, I drew them out without a sound. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side towards me. And he started attempting to take money from the Anil under the mattress. Anil has kept the money, and as soon as he could get the money, he drew out them without any sound, and there he became somewhat startled, shocked, and quickly crawled out of the room. And as soon as he get the money, he crawled out of the room. Now there are two words in this paragraph, that is startled and crawled. Now startled means to shocked or frightened, and crawled means to creep, to move slowly on hands, right? That is what the two meaning. When I was on the road, I began to run, and as soon as Hari took the money, he started running off from the room, and he was running on the road. Very fastly he is running. I had the notes at my waist, held there by the string of my pyjamas, and he kept the notes to his vest, right? And he started running so fastly. I slowed down to a walk and counted the notes. And as soon as he started slowing down, he took the note out of his waist and started counting. So it was 600 rupees in 50s. I could live like an oil-rich Arab for a week or two. And he just started thinking that if I could take out this money, then I will be able to live like an oil-rich man for near about 2 or 3 weeks, right? When I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket office. I had never bought a ticket in my life, but dashed straight to the platform. And as soon as the Hari Singh reaches to the platform, to the railway station, he actually need to have a ticket with him if at all he wants to travel from one place to the other place. But as he had not visited any ticket office ever before, so without going to the ticket office, he just dashed to the platform and he started waiting there. The Lucknow Express was just moving out, and Lucknow Express was just about to move. The train had still to pick up speed and I should have been able to jump into one of the carriages, but I hesitated. For some reason I can't explain, and I lost the chance to get away. And he was able to see that the train was about to move from the station, he was just about to take a leap in the carriage, but he could not do so, and he somewhat hesitated for his wrongdoing, right? Maybe because of some reason that he hesitated to go away, and he was not able to explain why he is doing so and all those things. And he lost his chance to get away, and he just thinking that what has happened to me, why I'm not doing so, and all those things, and all the such sort of thinking was going on in his mind, and in this way he missed the chance to go away. When the train had gone, I found myself standing alone on the deserted platform. I had no idea where to spend the night. And the very next, what happens when the train gone, he find himself standing alone on the platform, and he had no idea what to do now, as there is no room for him to live, and there was a night, there was a total darkness, and around the things he could not see anything without darkness. I had no friends, believing that friends were more trouble than help, and as he had not any good friends to him, so he was not able to think in a positive way. Now he was quite a bit startled and confused. I had no idea where to spend the night. I had no friends, believing that friends were more trouble than help, and I did not want to make anyone curious by staying at one of the small hotels near the stations. The only person I knew really well was the man I had robbed. And he was thinking that, Hari Singh was thinking that he don't want to make anyone curious by leaving the hotels nearby the stations, and don't want to make anyone know about him, that who was he and what he has done, everything. But he was the only person who knew really the man who was Anil, and he had robbed him last night. So that was the reason why he couldn't go away, and he has having a kind of confused situation in his mind, and he could not go away. The only person I knew really well was the man I had robbed, and he was thinking that the only person to whom I know really very well is the man to whom I have robbed so soon recently. Leaving the stations, I walked slowly through the bazaar, and as soon as the train left, he left the stations and he started walking throughout the bazaar. And he was thinking in his mind that what to do now, what next. In my short career as a thief, I had made a study of men's faces when they had lost their goods. And in his career as a thief, he had visited many men. He has robbed many men, and he has even studied their faces as well when they lose their goods. The greedy man showed fear, and he started just analyzing that greedy man would show a fear. The rich man showed anger. The rich man, if I rob the rich man, then he would show a kind of anger. The poor man showed acceptance, but if I rob the poor man, he will show the acceptance. It's okay. If I am robbed, let it be. It's okay. Then that is what a kind of analyzations and a kind of analysis he has made. But I knew that Anil's face, and when he comes to Anil, he could understand that he knew Anil very well, and he says, but I knew that Anil's face, when he discovered the theft, would show only a touch of sadness. And I know that if I could rob him, he will only show the kind of sadness, a touch of sadness, but he will not feel anything for such things. Not for the loss of money, but for the loss of trust. And as he started thinking that if he could understand that he has been theft, he has been robbed, then he will feel for the loss of trust, not the loss of money. So that is what Anil was all about. I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on a bench. The night was chilly, it was early November, and a light drizzle added to my discomfort. And as the Hari Singh was running through the bazaar, he was walking through the bazaar, he found himself in the Maidan and sat down on a bench. The night was chilly, it was early November, and light drizzled added to my discomfort. And it was a chilly night in the November. Soon it was raining quite heavily, and it started raining heavily, so heavily that his shirt and pajama stuck to his skin, and a cold wind blew the rain across my face. And as soon as it started raining, his pajama stuck to the skin of Hari Singh, and the wind blew from here to there. The wind blew the rain across the faces, and because of the wind, the rain was just crossing the faces of Hari Singh, and there was a heavy rain. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of the clock tower, and there was a clock tower in the bazaar, and as soon as the rain started, he just went to the clock tower and he took a shelter over there. The clock showed midnight, and that was the midnight time. Maybe because of his late night and all those things, he could not go home, and it is almost a midnight, and he started taking shelter over there in the bazaar under the clock water. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain, and he just started feeling for the notes that he is having, that he has robbed the Anil before a time, and they were damp from the rain. So all the notes became damp. And what does it mean by damp? Damp means become wet or moist because of water, and all the notes became so damp. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of a clock tower. The clock showed midnight. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain. Anil's money. In the morning, he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema. And he's thinking in his mind that in the morning, if I would not have robbed him, definitely he would have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema. But now I had it all. But now I can't do anything because all the money is having with me, and Anil is without money. I couldn't cook his meal, run to the bazaar, or learn to write whole sentences anymore. And now I was not able to go to the bazaar, and I was not able to cook for his meal. And even I was not able to write a whole sentence, or even I was not able to learn the adding in numbers and all those things. But all that I could do was repentance. I had forgotten about them in the excitement of the theft, and whatever good things I was facing, I was learning, I had forgotten them in the excitement of the theft. Whole sentence I knew could one day bring me more than a few hundred rupees. And now the Hari Singh started repenting. Why? Because he could understand that whatever he has done, that was not good, that was the wrong deed. Now the whole sentence that he knew could one day bring more than a few hundred rupees. That whatever deed he has done, whatever wrong things he has done, that is not good, right? Because if you could have been literate, then definitely it could have been bring a lot of things for him to his life, and definitely he would have been prospered his life with his educated friend. It was a simple matter to steal, and sometimes just as simple to be caught. And he just thinking that it is so simple to steal, and sometimes just simple to respect the man. But everything that he has done that was wrong, he is thinking about all those things that he has done in his life, and he's just repenting, and he's just convincing himself that it was a simple matter to steal, and sometimes just to simple to be caught, but to be really a big man, a clever man, respected man was something else. So it is very easy to become a thief, but it is very hard to become a real man, a big man, or clever and respected man. I should go back to Anil, I told myself, if only to learn to read and write. And now he started convincing himself that if at all I want to learn, if at all I want to be educated one, if at all I want to develop my life, if at all I want to be a progress in my life, then I should go back to Anil. I should feel sorry for the deed that I had done, and I should be apologized to Anil. And as he was saying to him, that he started going back to the Anil's room. I hurried back to the room feeling very nervous, for it is much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. And now he's on the way to back to the room, and he's very much hurried, and he's feeling very nervous for whatever he has done, and he's thinking in his mind that it is much easier to steal something than to return it without doing anything or undetected. I opened the door quietly, then stood in the doorway in clouded moonlight, and as soon as he reached to the door, he opened it. It was still silent, and it was a clouded moonlight, and Anil was still asleep, but everything was as it is. Anil was still in a deep sleep. I crept to the head of the bed, and my hand came up with the notes, and he just stepped in the room where Anil was sleeping, and he just crept to the bed of Anil, and he take out his money from the vest, and what he does, let us see. And my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remained still for a minute. Then my hand found the edge of the mattress and slipped under it with the notes. And my hand was feeling the breath of Anil as I started putting the notes under the mattress, and I could feel the Anil's breath, and successfully I could keep the notes under the mattress. I woke late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea, and the very next day Hari Singh woke up so lately, and he could find that Anil had made already the tea. He stretched out his hand towards me. There was a 50 rupee note between his fingers, and as I started taking the tea, what he does, there was a 50 rupee note between his fingers, and he could offer me 50 rupees, and that is where I felt that I was a foolish man. My heart sank. I thought I had been discovered, and the Hari Singh started feeling that whether he had been discovered by the Anil or not. I made some money yesterday, he explained, and Anil now explaining everything to Hari Singh. He said, I made some money yesterday. Now yesterday I had earned some money. Now you will be paid regularly, and now onwards you will be paid regularly without having delay. My spirits rose. Now Hari Singh started feeling very happily and enthusiastically. But when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain, and as soon as he touched the note, he could understand that whatever has happened last night, because still the notes were damp, still the notes were wet from the last rain. Today we will start writing sentence, he said, and Anil started saying that from today onwards we will start writing sentences, we will start learning how to add numbers, and we will start everything. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything, and Hari Singh could understand that he knew everything, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything, and he felt that Anil is aware about everything that had happened in the last night, but he is not showing any sign of anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any effort, and we started smiling each other without having any sort of scars on minds and face. That is what the story is all about. So it is a kind of compassionate story wherein a kind of emotional touch is having the story, how a man who was a thief and how he transformed himself with the help of the company that he get. That is what we often say, that if we have a good company, then definitely we will become a good. That is what the story and the moral of the lesson is all about. I hope, dear friends, you would have understood the lesson thoroughly. If you understood the lesson, please like, share, comment and subscribe my YouTube channel to get more videos. Thank you so much.